Miss Maissane? Taroua. Student at University of Connecticut studying biomedical engineering. She's co-director of Mass Girls Youth Group. In addition, she is a member of the New Haven Islamic Center. So welcome and thank you.
Just regarding that campus security question, I ran a race here and I got personally escorted by you guys, so thank you for that. So you guys are pretty cool over here. So I'm going to talk to you guys today about this idea of oppression in Islam, especially for women, and the hijab. So first of all, what is the hijab? So we have different types of the hijab. A lot of ways that you'll see it worn in America especially is the way that I wear it. So I'm just covering my hair and then loose clothing. You'll also see the burqa. So the burqa is kind of like a longer piece of a hijab, goes all the way down to the knees. And then the niqab. So the niqab, it's not really common over here, but you'll see it overseas and they love to show it on the news. It's the full covering of the face. So why do I wear the hijab? The first question I'm asked every time is, were you forced to wear it? And the simple answer is no, not at all. A quote in the Quran is, there is no compulsion in religion. So this specifically means that any individual forcing any Muslim to wear the hijab, or to pray, or to donate, or to do any task in Islam is a sin. A person who is Muslim must decide the actions of being a true Muslim on their own. And the same goes for the hijab. I made the decision to wear the hijab for myself, and I enjoy that decision every day. So let me depict two worlds for you. So we have a Western civilization, and we'll say we'll have Islamic tendencies. So in the Western civilization, our world has become extremely sexualized and materialized. If I just turn on the TV, the first thing I see in, for example, a car commercial is a beautiful girl right in the front seat, hair flowing, boom, the car is sold. Toothpaste commercial, she's right in the mirror, teeth smiling, boom, toothpaste is sold. Chocolate, she has a garment over her shoulder and she's like oozing and awing at this chocolate because it's so amazing, boom, the chocolate is sold. Our society has become extremely sexualized. And this isn't a result for people not wearing the hijab, of course. But it's just a result of us being materialistic and a Western civilization proving notorious to that. So let me show you a couple examples. Hillary Clinton, whom I'm sure all of you know, was the former Secretary of State. She was scrutinized one day for wearing the same suit within the last 3 months. This is a woman who's made decisions about foreign policies. This is a woman who's continue to ensure that America is not attacked by foreign policies, not attacked by foreign powers, who ensures that our economy stays safe overseas, who's made decisions about deaths of different warlords and drug trade, and is attacked for the same suit that she's wearing. Another example is Nancy Pelosi. In the middle of a discussion discussing tax reform, she's told that she should think about plastic surgery because her wrinkles have become too unbearable to look at. Now this is the world that we've created for ourselves. In a situation where a senator were to discuss tax reform, I guarantee you he's not going to be stopped and told to use anti-wrinkling cream. I guarantee you that a mayor discussing where to put a phone tower, which despite the fact is uninteresting, is not going to be interrupted because his suit tie doesn't match his handkerchief. This isn't to suggest that Nancy Pelosi or Hillary Clinton should wear the hijab and then win all American voters and now Hillary can be president and the world is awesome. No. This is strictly to suggest that me wearing the hijab allows me to be liberated. Me wearing the hijab, when I walk into a room, I'm not looked at for my hips, I'm not looked at for my breasts, I'm not looked at for my heels, I'm not looked at for any of the above. I'm looked at for what I'm coming to you guys today to discuss, how I hold myself, the context of the information that I'm speaking to. This is my decision that I decide to wear. I wear the hijab because it liberates me. It makes me feel comfortable. It makes me feel free. So, kind of prehistoric Islam since we like to talk a lot about oppression, is that Islam was the first full government to allow women the right to vote. Islam was the first nation of people that allowed women the right to a husband and father's will. This is something that we all know that in Western civilization, European civilization, the list goes on and on, women fought for decades and finally won that basic right. So I challenge all of you today to go up to any woman wearing a hijab. Although, mind you, make sure you don't wear anything after, because we like to go on and on about this topic, as you can see. Ask her if she feels oppressed. And I guarantee you, every single time that I answer this question, not only is she going to say, I don't feel oppressed, but she's also going to say that I feel liberated, I feel respected, and I feel honored that I wear the hijab every day. I feel honored by my religion. So let's not confuse this idea of culture. Let's not go all attack and say, oh my God, Saudi is not letting any of these people drive cars. Let's look at countries like Indonesia, Turkish, Pakistan, who have 7 heads of state, something more than America has ever had. So finally, I was kind of told towards the end to just discuss not suggestions, but you know, like how we would feel safe. And like, I'm gonna call you Pop, 'cause I'm like Pop said, you guys have a job to do, and we completely understand that. And this by no means is to say that we should be treated differently. But as any person, when you look at it as a cloth, we look at it as security. And with the social contract with state and person, we're allowed to protect our security. So the simple answer to that is just respect. If I'm arrested, I completely understand that I have to take off my scarf. I have to be booked. I have to be searched. And I completely understand that. But with the same merit, there's a respect and there's a security that should be given with that same tap. So that's basically all that I have today. I love questions, so if anybody has them.
I need to add another question, if possible. So, 70% of the Americans convert to Islam are women, almost 70. And you'll find them right after they get in Islam, they wear hijab. So if they are oppressed, why they get into hijab to start with. In addition to the point your colleague has mentioned, that women come to this country and she's very strong by the laws in here, and she could do whatever she wants. So no man can force her to have hijab after she arrives and lives in this country. The second thing, I always try to think about a Muslim woman wearing the same or the similar way like Mary the Virgin does. Mary has a chapter in the Quran, like Dr. Ibrahim mentioned, and she is the star model for every Muslim woman. So when you dress like Mary the Virgin, I think it's very respectful to many Americans, if they understand the virtue behind it.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I mean, the hijab isn't only in Islam, like all throughout, we'll see like nuns wear them, the Jews also wear them. So yeah, it's definitely a system of modesty and clothing that a lot of people do choose to go forth with.
And let me add one third point, if you allow me. Regarding the covering face, hijab with the covering face, you have, all of us have internet and have YouTube. There is an area in Israel, Jewish people, where women must cover their face. When they walk in the street, like in Afghanistan, all of them covered with a black attire, okay? So it's part of the Jewish religion, part of the religion. Some of the Jewish women believe that it's not only you have to cover your body and head, you have to cover face. And there is a big report I watched for 1 hour in English about that, so feel free also to look at it.
Yeah.
So it's rooting from all the religion. But you know, some religion more strict about it or than others.
Yeah, and with that being said, especially with the niqab, when women cover their face, I can see how it must be like really difficult, especially for you guys, if, for example, if you need to do a breathalyzer test, or if you need to enter the home for whatever reason. And with that same merit, I don't know the systems of being a cop, and I could never even, suggest a policy or a certain merit of how to address that situation. But respect, I'm sure you guys understand, because you're human beings, goes a long way. And yeah, so even with the niqab or with any of that merit, I mean, like, just like discussing the matter, talking with the individual about that, definitely can solve the situation pretty quickly.
You mentioned the Catholic nuns. One of the interesting things to simplify issues sometimes is it a good way to think about any practicing Muslim woman is like a Catholic nun. So it's like a nun 24/7. Any practicing woman, one easy way to look at that is the way you look at the Catholic nun. Any practicing Muslim woman is like the Catholic nun. So whatever you think about the Catholic nun, that's a practicing Muslim woman. That's good. Good, easy way to simplify the issue sometimes?
I wouldn't say so, only because like Catholic nun is like, I don't know that much about how a Catholic nun is, but I know that she is like bound to the church and bound for repentance and not allowed to have
Oh, not
partners.
the religious side, I mean the modesty, the formal side.
Yeah, sure, I guess like the way that she dresses. I feel like hijabis would be like louder and more obnoxious than Catholic nuns, but I don't know. I guess that's just an opinion. Anything else?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Me and another male officer receive a complaint. We have to respond to the mosque on the woman's side.
Mm-hmm.
What would you, how educate me on what procedure should be? I mean, like, we're coming, we're investigating some type of problem. We end up on the women's side, 2 males, and we have to come in the mosque.
Mm-hmm.
Can you direct me as to, like, what is your feeling about that? Do we just come in, walk right into the mosque, do what we gotta do? And I know it depends on circumstances. In an emergency situation, we will come right in regardless. We have to do our job. But if it's more of a lesser complaint, can you tell us how do we respond to that?
I would, the importance in entering, especially a mosque, is just giving warning to the women. So in an emergency situation, obviously, you'd have to kind of like put yourselves in that situation automatically. But going to kind of like the males to give warning to the women, just so they make sure that they're wearing their clothes. Again, that's merit. If there's a threat, you don't want to give that warning at the same time. So it's kind of like a give and a get. Like I said, like, there's policy that you guys have to abide by, because if, like you said, if there is a threat or there is a hostage situation or something, that dramatic, you couldn't really give that warning. But if it's something menial, like noise complaint or any, anything of that merit, then just giving the warning and then putting yourself in that situation, I don't see why that wouldn't.
I would also say if it's a life threat, within Islam, life comes first.
Yeah.
Protecting life comes. Yes, we have to respect the mosque. For example, you cannot walk into the mosque with your shoes, for example.
Right.
But if it's a life threat, forget about all of that.
All right, we do under our
Life
policy.
comes first.
Under policy, we would have to go right in.
Yeah, an emergency
But
situation.
if it wasn't such an emergency, what should?
Yeah, as my son said, usually there is kind of whoever in charge of the mosque, the committee or whoever in charge, that's your first point usually, and they will walk you through it, as my son
Right.
said. So if you have to go to the women's section, they will, of course, they will just let them know that you are coming. If there is no life threat, usually there's a starting point, whoever in charge, will walk you through.
Okay. I have my police dog with me, and he loves to lick all the people. That's all he does, lick. Now I want to bring this dog into the mosque. Can you give me some direction on that?
So,
If it was an emergency, I know the dog's going in regardless. But say that I just happen to be.
is there a specific? Okay, so only because I know a lot of Muslims that have dogs, but the place of prayer, a dog is not allowed to enter. So a lot of times, if they have a big house, the dog's allowed one place, and then the prayer is in another area. So if there's a specific, like, important reason, because the dog needs to sniff something out,
Right.
then by all means, like you said, you have a job to do. But if it's kind of, a candid reason, or the dog can stay in the car, then by all means, ensuring that the dog does stay in the car is best, only because you're entering a place of prayer, and that place is sacred to us, and once a dog does come in, different tasks would have to undergo in order for us to continue praying there again. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Frank, I need just to comment to General about in Muslim culture, you have to give a privacy even in your house. So myself, when I go to my house, I can't just enter. I have to knock. So my wife knows somebody's getting in, I'm getting there. My son, for example, I am in the bedroom, cannot enter the room without knocking. We have in our Islam culture also that when you go visit somebody, you are allowed to knock 3 times. Okay? If he responds at the first time, second, and third time means bye-bye, go. Okay? So there's general rules even among Muslims, it's, to give a privacy for people. So myself, I cannot get in my house until I knock. At least 3 times, people know I'm getting there. So it's more, it's a kind of respect more than anything else. But like what my colleagues mentioned to you, if you are doing your job, you are doing your job. And if we tell you otherwise, you're not going to listen anyways, right? So,
But I think it's important for us to know because, we're familiar, most of us are familiar with the Christian religion and Jewish religion, but Muslim is new to us.
Yeah.
Still, even though it's been here forever, it's new to us in our culture. And so it's good to know, like, what are these traditions and what should we be aware of as police officers. And maybe get that message out into our departments, and we make the necessary education for our officers to do the right thing, so that we don't offend anyone, and that we're not offended in doing our job.
Yeah.
Also.
It's definitely that unknown territory, but like all of you guys, talking goes a long way. I mean, we're not all the same people. We're not all practicing, and to assume that would be paint us all with the same brush would be terrible. So. Like I said, just talking and explaining the situation. That's a good job. Thank you so much.
Like I said, I had the men come about 10 years, and my hate and bias classes come. They've done excellent presentations, but usually the women just pumped it up a couple notches. So I'll be calling the women from now on.
They're taking over, I can tell you.
They were strong. I'm like,
They will do
I never knew all that much. But I appreciate it, and thank you very much for sharing that with us.
you know more if you get to marry one of them. Muslim woman. It'll be totally different.
Let me just share another little thing. I've been able to.
You know my agony.
I know. I've had the opportunity to go to the mosque at UB, and if any of you have the chance to go to the mosque at UB, I felt like I'm the President of the United States. That's how they treat you. So respectful, and it's volumes. It speaks volumes for their culture and for the way they do things. It's amazing, and I mean, President of the United States. I had people flocking around. They couldn't do enough for me, and it's an opportunity that everyone should experience. And they are welcoming people. They want you to come, and I appreciate that, and I'm thankful for that. And just this whole conference, through Mustafa and for all the doctors here today and the women here today, at the drop of a dime, they'll do it, whatever, as long as it's reasonable. And I appreciate that, and I love the culture for that, and I love the religion for that. Still strict Catholic, who cares?
Yeah.
Love that, love what they stand for.
Since we are in the women's section, we'd like also to extend the extension to women officers. We have one, I think.
All right.
So
Really, and I don't mean that lightly.
Yeah.
Experience what they have to offer. It's great. All right, and then on that, we're going to allow you to go to your lunch, and we'll see everybody at 1 o'clock. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.